Hello and welcome back to Pantheon of the Geeks. Today you join us for another unboxing video for Moonstone, and today we're having a look at some Faeries. Yes, the True Dominions Faeries. We've got Vesper, Shadowglade and Blood Magic here. We've already shown you two of the models that I previously had from years ago, which were Tito and Freya. I have the new cards for those, for the newer cards for those, because I had like the original version ones and lost them. So, yay. So I was able to order these directly from Goblin King Games. And also, the missing model from that set, which is the Fencer. I've ordered that separately, so I'll unbox him as well today. So let's get all these unboxed and have a look, as I've done on the previous videos. I'll unbox them all, then wash them all and stick them together, because it's just easier to clean the resin together. So, Vesper. This is the single model. There are optional clear wings for Vesper, but I decided not to opt for those just because I want to stick the whole model together and paint it. And if I'm doing clear wings, I have to separate the wings out, and then I might lose them between now and painting it, etc, etc. And I'm fine with painting the wings, to be honest. So we have this little bit in here. Let's get that bit out. It's very fine. Pretty much like the original two Faeries, apart from the resin looks a lot better, as I've gotten used to with the new ones. We have the wings there, Vesper. We have the body and the head of the wasp, bug, whatever it is. I'm assuming it's a wasp. And then we have this bit here, which is legs, and not sure. Is that part of the wasp? Does it have a tongue? No, it must be an antennae or something. Maybe it is an antennae. Yeah, because she's holding one of the antennae, so that's the other antennae. So let's have a look at we've got a flying base for this, but I probably won't use the flying base much like I did with the Goblin airship. I'll probably build one up. We do have a flying base though, which is like, one of those. And then we have the standard base, 40mm base by the looks of it. And there is the card. The Vesper. And strike from above is its ability though. So we shall put them to one side. Lots of foam as well. Keep all my foam. It's good for packing things. It's also good for doing some painting with, actually. The sponges are great. Now we have Shadowglade. There we go. Surprised it was partially packed. There. So we have 3 bases, which we do. We have 3 models. Hopefully we do. There we go. So that's part of Butterfingers. That's his base, which is already fairly scenic. And that's kind of what the theme I'm going to go with these guys is, like natural, sort of worldy, and mushrooms. Because that's part of, what's his name again? Wasp. He is actually called Wasp. There we go. There is Butterfingers. What I might actually do with these when I wash them, I might actually wash them before. I normally take them off the sprues and then wash them, but yeah, they're quite fine. There's a lot of little bits and I don't want to lose anything, so I'm going to just wash them and then clip them off, make a slight change. So that's Butterfingers. and that's his part, that's Wasp. So this means this bit is Silvertongue. There he is, and he again comes with his own tree to sit on, his tactical tree, which is great. Then we've got the cards, so we have Silvertongue, stay in focus, Threats and Promises, we have Wasp, that Fairy Rage is quite a cool thing, and he comes with Diving Attack. Yeah, that removes the weakling status, so if he's near somebody, it's within 8 inches, you can really sort of wind up a big attack if you want from somebody else. So we have Butterfingers, Fairy Dust. Cool. So that leaves us with Blood Magic. There's no models in there, they're just packing stuff coming out, and cards. Oop, I've got the 3 bases. Let's see, who do we have here? Okay, it's not on one, I think, is that Belladonna? I think so. It's literally just 2 parts. All there, and then we've just got the extra wing. So this must be Foxglove, I think. Here we go. No, that's Diana, Queen of the Fae. Thought, what was that on his base? But it's like a rack of ribs. That's hers. Looks very cool, actually. This one must be Foxglove. There's me assuming the queen would just be in a bag around. Come on. There we go. You gotta be careful with these ones because they are quite delicate. So those 2 parts, and then these 3 parts, I'll make up Foxglove. So Diana, Queen of the Fae, and Dance with Death. Belladonna, with Drop of Delirium. And then we have Foxglove with Mirror of Mischief. Cool. So we shall open. That's where I've forgotten to open these kinds of boxes. There we go. So I've never ordered a single Moonstone model before. But yeah. I was expecting it just to come in a packet, but no, it's cool. It was a blister pack. So we've got the Fencer, version 3. There are his rules. Try them first with Needlepoint as his ability. And then we have the base. And we have, come here, a big old tree, which is part of his base. And then we have these wings, which are probably fallen off something. Probably that bit there where the tree is. And then we have the Fencer, which is body and spare hand. And then I may as well take these out of the packet they're in. So if you watched the very first video I did in this series, you'll see the original models that I showed you of Freya and Tito. And I was bumming in and out about whether to get the box set, but then I'd have 2 spare models and I'd never use them. I didn't want to do that because I'd gone to trouble painting them. So I decided just get the cards. So we have Tito and Freya. Tito doesn't seem to change since the beginning, but I said I've lost the card, so remember we got Freya, who's definitely version 2, so I needed to update that anyway. And we've got Can't Hit Me, Petito, and Can't Hit Me for Freya. Same ability. There we go. So, let me go ahead, and there's a lot of models here, a lot of very fine models here. Let me go away and wash them, get them ready, take them off sprues, and we'll come back and we shall glue them together. So we have all of our components with the fairies. They are quite fiddly and quite delicate, so if you are taking them off these, just be super careful. They could quite easily snap. Make sure you use a very sharp knife or clippers, whichever you prefer. But yes, they're all off now, and I've stuck on the scenic bases because most of these guys come with some sort of scenic base. As such, I won't be doing much work on those bases other than putting some flock on, because there isn't much room left anyway, and I don't want to overdo it. Might just can fit a mushroom on there, but we'll see how I feel. With Wasp, all I've done is built it up a bit, and I'll put some crystals, some Moonstone type crystals, probably on the front of his base. And then with Vesper, I've used the same brass rod as I used on the Goblin airship. Couldn't think of what I was going to say then. And a similar sort of makeup, if you will. I just haven't built it up quite as much. It's not quite as tall as that one. One, because I built it maybe a bit too tall on the Goblin airship. But Vesper does attack in combat as well, so there is a difference between the two. So I've got this one a bit shorter, and it's about the same size as the stand would have made it anyway if I'd stuck that on. So there ain't much difference, to be honest. Maybe a few millimetres taller. And I've also drilled that hole so it definitely fits on to the brass rod that I've used. This one is the difficult one because I'm having to go off the picture on the back of the box, and I believe from this I haven't taken off yet, these are the back sets of legs and these are the front sets of legs. They may or may not be, but I think these are the back ones and those are the front ones, and that's the antennae. So that's what I'm going to be doing when I'm putting them on. They go into these little indents here, and the smaller indent is what's sort of giving me the clue that these slightly thinner legs at the bottom are the back ones. It's a pure guess really based on that, and we'll see how it goes together. And at these again, I believe be the front ones, and they're slightly larger and have slightly larger sort of hole there for it to connect to at the front. So that's what I'm going to go with, and that's what I'm going to do. So we'll stick those on. The rest of Vesper is pretty straightforward. It's just a case of putting on the rider. There is a little cube there on the bottom which may or may not fit. Some of them do, some of them don't. If they don't, I just cut them off and glue it on anyway. And then that has to attach onto the head, because that's the other antennae that she's carrying. The head just sticks onto there. And then the second antennae, which isn't attached to her hand, will go in to that hole in the front of the head there. There's like two horseshoe shaped holes. That's where they go. And then finally we have the recesses there in the sides for the wings to go on. I think it was on that side, because they kind of sweep around. I don't think it goes that way, because it would kind of sweep down, and that's kind of how it looks on the box. But we'll see when we're done. That's probably the most complicated model from all these ones. The rest are pretty much just, for instance, Wasp. He's got his cloak wings, because the wings folded back into what looks like a cloak. That obviously goes onto the back. His head goes onto the front there, and then his arm with the shield goes onto the side. Straightforward. The fencer is basically two parts. The entire body is in one part with the wings going on, and then we have that attaching on to this. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then we have Foxglove, who's this bit here, I figure out which way up that goes. I think it goes that way. Because he's in a really cramped sort of position. He has these two pieces. One is this. This is one of his feet, I believe. And I think that's the one that is going to go on this side. And he has his other foot, which is also attached to an arm. Because it's cramped up, I think they go there. And then he has his head with the foxglove on the top, which is going to go there. Sorry. There. So yeah, these two together denote the arm and the foot. So that's how he goes together. Diana, pretty straightforward. We've got a scenic base. Her feet are on the base. She will attach to those. And then on the back, we have our wings. The easiest of all is Belladonna. Almost a complete model. It just has a wing to be attached, which goes in that little slot there. And we have Butterfingers, who has a very small pair of wings to go on the back. And then we have his other arm to attach. All the attachments are very small, so it's going to be very careful when I'm sticking them on. Hopefully that also means because they're quite light, they will attach quite well. Silvertongue, he has his wings. I believe they go in a down position. I'll double check that. And then we have his two arms, which are separate as well, to attach on. And then he will be attached to his perch, sat on the leaf, I believe. Oh, sorry, leaf branch there. And again, there's already a mushroom on that base, and there's already quite a bit going on. I don't want to overdo it. So we're going to go ahead and stick these together, and then I can have a look, see if I want to add any embellishments to them before I spray them. But I shall be back with some finished models. And there we go. I genuinely thought it would take a lot longer than it did to stick them together because they are fiddly, but with the help of some tweezers, to get some of the arms on and the antennae and everything. It didn't take that long at all, actually. So let's have a look at them finished. So that is the fencer. And again, that takes most of the base. I'm probably not going to add anything to that. Might add a couple of little mushrooms at the bottom of the tree, maybe, if I feel like it. But I think it's an awesome model, actually. We have foxglove. And we have Butterfingers, who I don't want to drop. I'm just tempting fate by saying his name. And then we have Wasp. You probably will add some stuff onto those. He's the one who's got probably the most room on his base, apart from Vesper. But there is some on Belladonna's base, some room. I might put some stuff around there. Not quite decided yet, but there is Belladonna. And we have Silvertongue, who's got the weirdest hand position. Definitely that was using tweezers job for that. Diana, super simple to put together, very cool model. Finally Vesper. Yeah, by far the fiddliest of all these models. I think I've got the legs right. I think the ones at the bottom of that sprue with the back legs are slightly thinner. We've got a slightly thinner connection, whereas the thicker ones there sort of have a slightly larger connection and seem to fit on. I think we've got them in the right position. It's not going to be far off. There we go. And again, with them all being resin, very light models. There's no real weight to them at all. So the fact that they've got like sitting on, Foxglove's attachment to that is just his hand, wrist attachment to that tree. And he seems to sit on there no problem. So they're quite impressive, and they're very impressive models. I'm really looking forward to painting these. And on that, I will show you some of the models that I did last time that I now painted. Because that's my rule with Moonstone, much as I like it. I'm painting all the models I get before I buy any more. So before I get any more, which will probably be gnomes next, I think it'll be gnomes. I need to paint these guys, and I need to spend some time doing these ones because these are all quite intricate. Not that these other ones aren't, but did enjoy painting Ribald. There he is, done. And then we have the pirates with his bilge. Where's the lobster? And El Capitan. Oops. And we have C6 Stew from the mushroom. He's a pirate, but he was from the other box set. He's on there as well. I might do a little bit more on these because I'm not quite happy how the water effects come off. I wanted a little more wave effect, so I might go back again and do some sort of white effect on that. I did use some gel and I thought it would dry white, but it's dried clear, so it was the wrong gel. We have Mushroom Guy. He turned out quite well. And Boom McBoom Boom, Boom Boom Boom, with his pumpkin. It was finished just in time for Halloween, even though I'm filming this after Halloween, so pumpkin was still sort of in theme. There we go. So that was the goblins from last time, and then we had the humans, Commonwealth humans. So let me grab those. They always feel really brittle. All these models feel really brittle because they're made of resin and they weigh nothing. You pick them up, and I feel like I'm going to break them every time I pick them up. So far, so good though. We have Gertrude. We have Agatha. We have Fritz. And Kaufman. Here we have Quack. Is it Natty? And one giant Goshcut. I did really enjoy painting these guys. I did them all at the same time, and I feel like I overfaced myself a bit. I was trying to do them in a hurry. So there are a few things I'm not as happy with these as the first lot. So I do intend to go back and maybe revisit some things on them. But I got them up to table standard that I was happy with. And I wanted to get some of my models. So I was like, right, I'm going to do that. And maybe revisit them later. Because I'm also waiting for the third wave of Tooth and Coats paints to turn up. Should have been here by now, but it hasn't turned up. It's one of the reasons I haven't painted the full spectrum dominant stuff that I was showing on another video, because I want to try out some of the new paints with that as well to find a colour scheme. But I definitely want to use them on the Faeries. They shouldn't be too long now, they've been delayed. But hopefully I'll get to paint them soon. And then hopefully in the next video for these it'll be gnomes, I think. I think gnomes, maybe trolls, giants, maybe some of the newer models. They do look awesome. We'll see. We'll see what the next one is. I'm guessing gnomes because I do like the gnomes and I would like the gnomes airship. And if I'm getting that, I kind of need some gnomes to go with them for synergy. And maybe I'll play some of the games with the other painted models in the meantime. But for now, thanks for watching. Please please like and subscribe. Hopefully you'll join us again soon for another video. And you guys take care, and bye for now.